Welcome back, Neutron Tech Crew. Today's video features Jay and Jen. Way up in northern Michigan's backcountry, these two are building an off-grid cabin from scratch. And here's the thing, neither of them had ever built anything like this before. It's all about grit, raw lumber, and making it happen. Every solid cabin starts with a rock-solid foundation. Jay grabs those 19-foot 2x4s and starts measuring out studs, cutting them down to about 104 5/8 inches. That's your standard wall stud length. They're also adding a loft up top, which is a smart move when you want to squeeze more living space out of your vertical room. The roof, they're going steep on purpose. When winter dumps snow on you, a sharp angle means it slides right off instead of piling up. Plus, it gives the loft plenty of headroom so you're not bumping your head constantly. They lay down OSB panels for the roof deck, leaving some strategic gaps for airflow and easy access when they finish everything off. House wrap is basically your cabin's raincoat. It stops water from getting into the walls, but still lets trapped moisture escape from inside. Then comes the OSB or plywood sheathing, which locks everything together and gives the walls their backbone. Time to cut out spots for windows and doors. Once those openings are carved out, the edges get sealed up tight. You don't want drafts sneaking in or water finding its way through the cracks. They trim out the frames and joints carefully since they'll be stacking those milled logs right over them. The windows go in with flashing wrapped around each opening to keep things watertight. Now Jay fires up the sawmill and starts processing logs for what comes next. These fresh-cut boards will become the exterior cladding, but first they need to get the door hung so they can take accurate measurements. This log siding isn't just for looks. It gives the cabin that authentic woodsy vibe that makes it disappear into the forest. Let's be real. Northern Michigan winters are brutal, and they last forever. That's why insulation matters so much. It creates a heat-trapping bubble in the walls, ceiling, and floor that keeps the warmth where it belongs. When you're dealing with tight spaces and wild temperature swings like up in the ceiling, fiberglass bats work perfectly. They beef up the upper ceiling section where the loft floor sits. The whole cabin gets wrapped in insulation using bubble foil and those same fiberglass bats for the walls, floors, and ceilings. They picked a soapstone wood stove because it heats the place incredibly well. Safety comes first, so they surround the opening with metal flashing and add insulation to keep heat from spreading to nearby materials. On top of the reinforced subfloor goes a hearth pad made from materials that won't burn. Jay uses the tile drying time to add extra corner protection. The metal bounces heat away from the wall, protecting the wooden studs underneath from getting scorched or catching fire. Wood dominates this off-grid cabin, and that's no accident. Michigan's deep forestry roots and plentiful natural resources make it the obvious pick. The area's got more than 20 million acres of forest, giving them plenty of timber for builds like this. Wood also keeps heat in really well, which matters when Michigan winters hit hard. It pulls in moisture and lets it back out, keeping the air inside healthy and stopping condensation problems. But wood does more than just work. It creates that rugged wilderness look. Using natural, locally harvested wood throughout ties directly into what they're trying to achieve, the couple wants this place to feel like it grew right out of the northern Michigan forest around it. This flooring brings sophistication and toughness to the rustic vibe. The detailed patterns and deep colors pop against the paler wood covering the walls and ceiling. They fix any bumps by either using self-leveling compound or sanding down the high points. Going with darker flooring was a smart move. It tricks the eye into thinking the walls stretch higher than they actually do. The work continues at a steady pace with small spacing left between each board so they can expand and contract naturally. Next up, they attach white paneling to the walls, which creates a striking visual against the bare wood. Getting the solar power system up and running is absolutely essential for a cabin that's completely off the grid. Around back, there's a garden in the works that'll blend right into the natural landscape. Following the same approach used out front, they're covering the exterior with panels made from natural wood. The ladder they've installed can fold up and down thanks to a hinge mechanism, freeing up valuable floor space when it's not needed. That's a theme you'll notice throughout. Every inch counts, so creative storage solutions are everywhere. There are shelves that spin on a center post with bearings, making them easy to rotate. This precision also means the oven and stovetop fit like they were always meant to be there. They went with compact, low-energy appliances that match both the tight quarters and the solar power limitations. This whole build is no weekend project. It's taking them several months to get everything right. The compact appliances actually work in their favor, giving the kitchen a clean, uncluttered feel. Safety is huge when you're dealing with gas connections. One mistake could mean dangerous fumes inside or leaks outside. Luckily, the stovetop and oven come as one integrated piece, which makes setup simpler and takes up less room. Wood shows up everywhere in this build. You'll spot it on the countertops and even in those central fan blades. Sure, leaving certain sections raw adds that rustic character everyone loves, but here's the thing: moisture protection isn't optional. A good varnish does double duty, shielding the material from both UV rays and those brutal temperature swings. The electrical lines from the solar array make their way inside through a specific access point, usually positioned close to where the battery bank and inverter live. Next up, constructing the separate structure that houses the toilet, which connects right to the main cabin. The approach mirrors what they did with the primary building, so everything follows the same logic and comes together the same way. The bathroom walls get framed using standard 2x4 lumber. Given that bathrooms are humidity magnets, treated wood or moisture-resistant varieties make more sense here. They'll resist warping and decay down the road. The studs go in at regular intervals, either 16 or 24 inches depending on the plan, between top and bottom plates, creating the structural skeleton. Beyond keeping heat in, they're also thinking about sound control. Some acoustic material helps keep bathroom activities private. They're going with a sharper roof angle again. OSB panels create a continuous surface for whatever roofing material comes next. On top of that decking goes a water-resistant underlayment. Basically your first line of defense against leaks finding their way inside. The physical labor, clearing land, moving materials around, putting everything together, really tested what they could handle. They split responsibilities according to who was better at what, backing each other up when things got tough. What really made this work wasn't just the construction knowledge they gained, it was their partnership. They held on to the same dream for this cabin. What really matters to them isn't just reaching the finish line, it's everything that happens along the way. This cozy little cabin they're building manages to marry old-school wilderness vibes with all the conveniences you'd actually want to live with. Jay and Jen aren't experts, but they've got something better: curiosity and a genuine love for the outdoors. They're figuring things out as they go, making mistakes and rolling with whatever comes up. The whole look of their Michigan woods getaway comes from paying attention to what's around them. With most of the news section now complete, they're moving on to adding a specialized compartment. They're laying down bubble foil, that shiny reflective insulation stuff, right over the foundation. Every day of work makes the outside look more and more polished. Right now, they're putting in the vertical posts, making sure each one is firmly planted and won't budge. Jay and Jen take their time getting these supports perfectly straight. That live-edge wood covering the walls, it's classic northern cabin style through and through. The biggest thing shaping how this place looks is definitely the old timber building methods from around here. Northern Michigan used to be absolutely packed with white pine, red pine, and various hardwoods back in the day. Now comes the part where they attach those horizontal beams up top, linking all the vertical posts together. This creates the basic framework that'll eventually become their roof or ceiling. They're hauling ladders around to reach the high spots, both of them working together to get those beams lined up just right and locked in place. Alright, let's get back to wrapping up the bedroom. The walls start with insulation. They're stuffing those fluffy batting layers into the gaps between the studs in the frame. After that's all tucked in, they throw up a vapor barrier to really lock in the heat. Check out the finished wood storage shed, perfect for keeping the firewood dry all winter long. And remember that add-on they built earlier? Yeah, that's about to become the shower. They're mixing up a batch of mortar, getting the cement-to-water ratio just right for a solid shower base. After letting that harden up, they lay down a waterproof liner. The bathroom walls get the tongue and groove treatment, keeping everything consistent with the rest of the place. Those wooden panels add warmth and make the whole cabin feel connected. Since this is a bathroom, they coat the wood with something waterproof so it won't rot or get all warped from the steam. Now for the plumbing, they're taking their time with this one. Water lines and drains get mapped out carefully. They went with PEX tubing for the water supply because it's tough and way easier to work with. The waste pipes hook into the septic system since they're off the grid out here. PVC is their go-to for drain pipes. It's light, cheap, and simple to install. The sink's water lines connect straight to the PEX system. Under the basin, they install a pop-up drain assembly to keep things draining cleanly. The toilet's waste line also runs to the septic tank. Everything's locked in tight. Through all of this, they're keeping sustainability front and center. If you've been following along, you've probably noticed their water comes from a rainwater collection tank they set up. When the weather cooperates, they jump back to working on the second building. Now it's time to wrap up the outside of the bathroom with something that really captures the local style. They built a barn with solid bones and a no-nonsense layout, basically the perfect spot to keep all their property maintenance gear. Here's the thing though, this barn isn't just about parking equipment. It shows how seriously these two think about their setup. When you give your machinery proper shelter from the elements, it lasts way longer. Finishing this cabin deep in Michigan's woods means more than just checking off the last item on a construction list. What they've actually done is turn a dream into reality through sheer grit, clever problem solving, and genuine love for the natural world around them. Everything kicked off with clearing a chunk of forest to make room for the foundation. That meant the hard work of cutting down trees, hauling out massive rocks, and getting the land ready for what was coming next. Those water tank connections you spotted earlier, they're actually for something pretty cool. Jay and Jen picked a flat spot right by the cabin's deck, perfect for setting up an incredible hot tub. Since staying off-grid is the whole point, they're running the hot tub on solar power. They installed a low-draw electric heater that works with their solar panels and batteries. Michigan winters are no joke, so they loaded up the hot tub with serious insulation to keep the heat in and save energy. Everything about this place shows their knack for mixing rustic character with modern conveniences. Jay and Jen wrap up construction by giving the entrance serious weather protection. Because what's the point of a solid door if water's constantly hammering it? They build out a small overhead cover that angles away from the doorway, basically creating a shield that sends rain elsewhere. Without this, the door would get pummeled year after year. They start with support posts, getting the measurements exact before cutting and sinking them firmly into the ground. With those locked in place, horizontal beams go across the top to tie everything together. Then come the rafters, reaching out from the cabin wall to form the sloped porch roof. OSB panels go onto the porch roof first. Then they layer on the same water-blocking underlayment and roofing material that covers the rest of the cabin. The whole design shows how much they respect their surroundings. They use live-edge siding that looks like it grew there, fitting right into the forest backdrop, and the roof handles whatever Michigan's weather decides to throw at it. But this project goes deeper than lumber and nails. For Jay and Jen, it represents their personal evolution, a tribute to living simply, staying tough, and honoring that ancient bond between people and wilderness. In the end, this isn't just somewhere to sleep and eat, it's where their spirits recharge. It proves that what really matters isn't how much stuff we accumulate or how advanced our gadgets get. What counts is building places that bring people together and help them feel connected.